Hello and welcome to yet another Congress video. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about some things that Congress can do that has absolutely nothing to do with making laws, okay? So the first thing that we want to talk about are the Congressional Investigations power, okay? Now whenever you think of an investigation, you think of someone trying to figure something out, right? Okay, so congressional investigations are no different. Congressional investigations can be led by a standing or a select committee. Okay, remember from our last unit that a standing committee is a committee that exists all the time, no matter what, and a select committee is one that is created in response to a certain event. And these congressional investigations can lead to new laws, government program changes, removal from office sometimes, and other times reputation damage. So if you think about it, if you are the subject of a congressional investigation, they do this big long investigation on you, you're found to not be associated with what they thought you are, your reputation's still going to be damaged, okay? So some things to know about congressional investigations. Even though they sound like it, they are actually not a trial, okay? However, they can include a subpoena, and a subpoena, you remember from your vocab, is a legal order to appear in court or to produce documents. The testimonies that are given in these Senate hearings or congressional investigations, they are given under oath. So you have to raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth and all that kind of stuff. And if you lie under oath, you can be convicted and prosecuted for perjury, which is lying under oath. And they are led by committees who can punish those who don't cooperate by holding them in contempt. So if you stand up on the table in a hearing room and start singing the ABCs backwards, because why wouldn't you do that? The Senate or the Congress, whichever house is holding the hearing, could hold you in contempt. Okay? So some other stuff that Congress can do that has nothing to do with making laws. They have the legislative oversight power, okay? And this is a continuous review of the effectiveness of the executive branch. So this is another example of one of those checks and balances, kind of a lesser known checks and balances type thing, because it's not really used that much. The efficiency of legislative oversight, however, over the years has not been real great. And that's just because of a lack of money, time, and staff. So not a lot of congressional resources are devoted to legislative oversight. And the main reason for that is because voters just simply don't care about legislative oversight. So if you are in Congress, your goal, one of your goals, is to get reelected. So are you going to do something that your constituents don't really know or care about? Probably not. Okay? And also, laws have very, very vague language. Their laws are like hundreds and hundreds of pages long. So it's really, really difficult to get down to the actual meat of the legislation, like what is the law? Okay? All right, so moving on then to problems between the branches. We do have some issues that kind of spring up when we're talking about the relationship between, especially the president and Congress, okay? So we've got two different types of president. We've got an active and an inactive president, okay? If you're an active president, that means that you're like constantly proposing legislation and you're saying to Congress, hey, I really want you to do this. I think this is a great idea. You need to do this. And if you're an inactive president, you're kind of like, hey, you just send the bills to me. I'll sign them. It'll be fine, okay? So I want you to think about which type of president you think would have a better relationship with Congress, okay? We also have party politics. That's going to be a huge issue, unfortunately, in Washington, D.C. So do party politics affect the relationship between the president and Congress? Yeah, big time. If the president is from one political party and maybe the Senate is controlled by a different political party and the House is controlled by the party that is the same party as the president, I mean, can you imagine all of the different opinions and the gridlock and just the angst that is going to happen in Washington, D.C. We can remember back when President Obama was in office, we had a Democratic president, and then the House and the Senate were both controlled by the Republican Party, which kind of made for a tense relationship, okay? Now with President Trump in the White House, we have a Republican in the White House and Republican-controlled Congress, so we could probably assume that their relationship's going to be a little better, probably not quite as strained. Now, we also have this issue of the line-item veto, okay? Now, the line-item veto is something that is used at the state level in 47 different states, 43, 47, you have to check me on that. But the point is, a lot of governors can use this line-item veto power. And this basically allows the chief executive to veto only parts of the bills that they don't like if it deals with taxing and spending, okay? So imagine if I'm president, there's a part of a bill that's presented to me that's really going to jack up taxes on some group, and I'm like, I don't really like that, so I'm going to just scratch that out, okay? Is that okay? Is it okay for the president to be able to do that? We'll ponder that. And that's all I've got for you today. Let me know if you have any questions. See ya.